Alrighty, welcome everybody. Sorry I'm a couple minutes late. I just kind of slid in from Albuquerque today, but I wanted to get on and do this new system that I have for my free online classes. Now, Facebook for some reason was giving me all sorts of trouble, so unfortunately it is not showing on Facebook. So hopefully all of you guys will find me here on YouTube, and I do apologize for that, but I do plan on uploading this video later to Facebook. So anyway, welcome. If you're new to my channel, my name is Julie Brown. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm so happy that you're here with me tonight. I'm going to go over a few what I call housekeeping information. So if you guys do decide that you'd like to place an order with me, you can do that at juliebrown.stampinup.net. There also should be a link to that in the description. If you have any questions that you think of later and you don't type them in while we're live, you can again, email me those at juliescreativestamping@gmail.com. And then my Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram is Julie's Creative Stamping. And obviously you guys are here on YouTube with me, and that is juliebrown.Julie's Creative Stamping. And then there's my blog information there. All right. So I am changing up how I do my Wednesday night classes. Just a little bit, because I've been talking to a lot of the ladies that come to my in-person classes, and one of the things that they talk a lot about is that they love the suites, they buy the paper, they buy the stamp sets, they buy everything, and then they take it home and they put it on the shelf and they never use it again. So what I'm going to do starting this month in June is each month I am going to be spending every single Wednesday night. The free class on Wednesday night is going to be using a specific suite from Stampin' Up! Now tonight we're going to be using the Floral Impression Suite. If you, after watching this, you decide you like it, just make sure you write that number that you see there down, and you'll be able to order that if you'd like to. Now, you do not have to have this suite to go along with me, but I'm only going to be creating one card each month, because I am going to be taking you step by step through every single step of putting this card together. If you're using your own paper, your own stamps and die cuts, then you will just have to adjust. Most of these are, I mean, it's flowers, and you should be able to adjust it to whatever stamp sets that you have. In the future, I am going to try to put up, well, in the future, each month, before each month starts, I am going to show you the bundle that I'm using. So a lot of you that you might want to go to my Facebook profile for that, because I don't think I had that. I think I did talk about it last month, but on YouTube, I'm going to be talking about it the month before, showing you the whole suite so that you can get an idea. If you want to use the stuff from home, you'll be able to do that. So you'll be able to see like what the flowers look like, what the paper looks like, and it'll give you a good idea of what you're going to need to be able to stamp and craft along with me. All right, that being said, again, if you guys are new to this channel, just make sure if you have any questions, you can type them in the comments. And we are going to go ahead and get started with this card. I am going to show you the suite again really quick, and then we'll get started. So again, it is called the Floral Impression Suite. And when Stampin' Up! Has suites, what it means is everything coordinates. You get everything but the cardstock. So in this particular suite, it has these really fun gold labels. It has these really pretty gems. So when you put in that one number, you're going to get everything that you see here. It's got an embossing folder. It's called the Pressed Flowers Embossing Folder. And we're going to be using all of this stuff throughout this month. And then the stamp set and the bundles, or the dies, is the Impression of Bloom. And let me go ahead and pop that up, because some people like to just buy the stamp set and the dies because they feel like they have, you know, all the paper that they want. But that, if you'd like that bundle, you can actually get just the bundle, which is the stamp set and the dies. Now, this is an online exclusive. So what that means is if you have one of our catalogs, you won't find it in the catalog because it's an online exclusive. So that's why it's important that you write these numbers down. And I will show them again at the end. And then this is the beautiful designer series paper that comes, and you get 2 of each of these sheets. And it's what we're going to be using. So let's get started. We're going to talk about what we need. And again, we are going to be going step by step. So for those of you that are just coming on and say, hey, I just want to see how you put it together, just please have patience because I'm going to be stamping, die cutting, we're doing it all together. So what do you need for this one? And again, in the future, I'm going to try to have all of the card cuts up ahead of time so that if you guys do want to craft along with me and you are using, whether you're using this paper or your own paper, you will have that available to you. So I'm using a thick basic white card base that is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I am using a piece of the Designer Series paper that is 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm using a piece of Garden Green. And this is 3 by 4. I am going to be using a piece of Old Olive that is 4 by 5. A piece of Misty Moonlight. And this is 4 by 5 1/4. Our basic white that is 4 by 5 1/4. Another basic white piece that is 3.5 by 4. And one more basic white piece that is 3 3/4 by 5. Alrighty. So we're going to do the stamping first. And so we want to do the stamping on this, it was the 3 by 4. Yeah, 3.5 by 4 basic white piece. Now this stamp set is a 2-step stamp set. So if you've never worked with 2-step stamps, it basically means you have a solid image and then you have a detailed image. Now we are going to be stamping, and I'll bring in just so I can show you. We are going to be stamping with these 2 images and these 2 images. So you'll want to have the, and the little more detailed center of the flower. Okie doke. So as you guys know, I've told you this a million times in the past. I always stamp the detailed first in the darker color. Now, for this particular, for the Misty Moonlight flower, we're actually going to be stamping, stamping off because I didn't have another color that I wanted to use with it. I just wanted to use the Misty Moonlight. Sorry, I'm trying to find a scrap piece of paper that actually isn't completely jacked up. So here we go. All right, because I need to be able to stamp off. All right. So this is my detailed one, and I'm going to do that first. Now, when I'm stamping on this piece of paper, and you guys will want to do this as well, you want to make sure you're leaving enough room so that you can die cut these pieces out later. All right, so I'm going to come in with my Misty Moonlight, and I call this full ink. And I'm going to pay attention to this. Can you guys see that this is a longer end here? This is going to be my guide as I'm going through this. So I'm going to lay that down, and I'm going to remember that I have that long piece over here. Then I'm going to come in, and again, see, here's the longer piece on this one. Now I'm going to come in with this one, and we're going to stamp off and then stamp over the top of that other one. That way, if you only have one ink color, you can still create this. It's just going to look a little bit different as far as like for the next one, I do believe I have, oh no, I did it all in just stamping off. But if you did want to use, like, let's say Night of Navy and Misty Moonlight, then you may not have to stamp off ahead of time. Okay, so let's get that one. And then the next color is going to be the Blackberry Bliss. And I do need to clean off these stamps really quick. And as you guys know, I always try to get as much ink off of them before I bring in my chamois to clean them. So hopefully you guys will appreciate the new way that I'm doing this now. And obviously you can join me live or you can watch the replays, but the way this is going to work is I'm going to be creating 4 cards from you. Now, here's the deal. If you purchase the suite from me, you are going to get links to 4 more cards made with this suite. So I'm going to do 4 for every Wednesday this month. And then if you do purchase the suite, if you use the link in the description, purchase the suite from me, then I will send you 4 more PDFs and a video that shows you how to do 4 more cards. So you will right off the bat be able to make 8 cards with this suite. Because I don't want it just to sit on a shelf somewhere. Okay, so again, I'm keeping my long end here. We're going to stamp. And then we're going to come in with this one. And I'm going to stamp off because I don't want it to be that dark. I need this to be lighter. And then I just line that up and stamp it again. All right, so let's clean those off. Now we're going to switch over to the smaller flower. But let me get these cleaned off really quick. Sorry if you hear that squeaking. And now we're going to do 2 smaller flowers. I'm going to do one of the smaller flowers in the Blackberry Bliss. Oop, that stamp's kind of coming off. And again, for this one, I just picked this corner here. It's kind of the one that, is it that one? Yeah. It's the one that has, like, you can see the 2 outlines, the 2 lines that come down this way. But basically all you want to do is make sure you set a point of what you're looking at so that when you stamp it, then you know I can come in with this one and I know that this is the way this goes. But that's my focal point right there. And I know that this piece right here is the one that fits on that. So that helps me with my placement when I'm doing this second step here. So again, I'm going to stamp off. I'm going to line it up with that. And then you guys will notice that when I line it up, you'll see me sometimes moving my block, and that's because it helps me to line up the card. So as long as you just touch it on one area, and then you can kind of move your block or shift it. All right, let's clean that. And then the last color that we're using is Pool Party. Now, here's another thing. If you guys don't have all of the colors of stamps, or you don't have Stampin' Up! Inks, you're going to want to basically pick inks that match the paper that you're using at home. So you'll want to do something that matches up with what you already have and what you're using at home. All right, I hope this is broadcasting. I'm going to be so upset if it's not. I just got home and it was giving me some issues. So again, I'm using this lighter, or the detailed one. And then I'm going to come in with this. We are going to stamp that off. And then we're going to come in, line it up here. And then that helps me just to lay that down to get the rest of that lined up. Alrighty, so there's those. Whoops, let me get these cleaned off. Okay, now next what we're going to do is we're going to bring in the center of the flowers, and I'm actually going to use Smoky Slate for the centers. And I believe it was, I think I was watching Patty Bennett do this, and she came up with trying this Smoky Slate in the middle, and I just really fell in love with it because I really think it looks so nice. I'm going to bring all these a lot closer to you in just a hot second so that you can see them all. The Pool Party is kind of really light. I probably should have re-inked my Pool Party. But there we go. So there's our flowers. See how neat that looks with the Smoky Slate in the middle? I just think it looks so pretty. All right, so the next thing that we're going to stamp, we're going to move this out of the way because we'll die cut in a second. Let me clean these. And then the next piece that we're going to be stamping on, sorry, let me just get that, is the 3 3/4 by 5. This is going to go on the inside of our card. So I did bring in another stamp set for this one because I wanted the impressions in bloom. If you look at this, it has I appreciate you, thanks, thanks for being there, all of that stuff. But I needed a birthday card, so I brought in this set, which is the right words. Again, guys, don't think you have to buy all of these stamp sets. Use what you have at home. Find a sentiment. So if you need a sympathy card, make it a sympathy card. If you need a birthday card, make it a birthday card. If you need a wedding card, make it a wedding, anniversary, and so on. So just, I know if you guys are like me, you have plenty of sentiment stamps that you can use to create whatever type of card that you need. So I'm just going to put this one here. We're going to bring back in the Misty Moonlight ink, and we're going to stamp our sentiment, and then we're going to stamp some of those flowers again. I always try to stamp. I don't always do this when I'm online, but I do always try to stamp my sentiment first so I can make sure it's straight before I do all the work to stamp other images. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So we're going to go with that. So again, we are going to be bringing in our flowers. And again, so whatever set you're using, you're going to want to stamp 3 flowers in this corner. Now, if you're following along with me for this particular suite, then, and you want to match what I'm doing, then you'll want to use the same colors that I'm using. So the first one we're going to do, and we're doing this small one, is I want to do a Misty Moonlight right in the middle, and then I'm going to do, I'll do a Misty Moonlight here, and then I'll do a Blackberry Bliss above and below. So let's bring this in. And there's that. And then we're going to bring this in. Remember to stamp off. And this is going to come in, and it's going to go, I believe it's, whoops, I lost the, I think it's this one here. Yep, this one is going to go right here. Just like so. Then we're going to clean this off, and we're going to move to the Blackberry Bliss color. Now, as you guys know, for those of you that have ever watched my videos before, you know that I usually have a lot of this stamped ahead of time. But I truly want to take the time to stamp along with you guys and help you guys in this process, especially if we have any beginners here or just people that, you know, just want to have a night where you just kind of stamp along with me. Now, this one I am going to stamp off the page, but I'm still going to watch this bottom one for where I'm going to line it up. Same thing here. It's stamped off the page. But this is my guide, and even though it's stamped off the page, I can still use that to stamp the next thing. I'm sorry if you hear my dogs breathing really hard. They just came running in the house. They usually don't come down here, but they are here now. It's probably because I've been gone for a few days. So do you notice how I use this bottom, you know, that bottom image right there to line that up? So we're going to do that the same here. And just stamp that. Okay, so now we've got the inside of our card actually not quite done. We got to do those centers, but let's clean those stamps off. All right, get these out of the way, and we just got to put our centers in these, and that's going to be that smaller center, and I'm going to do the smoky slate again. So again, guys, if you have any questions, you can type them in the comments. I do look up once in a while to see if there's any questions. But I'm super excited to be creating with this suite the whole month of June. Again, it is an online exclusive, so if you're looking in a catalog, you will not see it, but if you do go online, you can find it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead while I've got this out, and I'm going to go ahead and add this to that Misty Moonlight mat. And I've got some extra of this because I could see I was almost ready to run out of this. So I'm just putting my Stampin' Seal Plus here. And then we are going to get this laid down on here. All right, so that's going to be the inside. So I'm going to set that to the side. All righty, so I think we have all of our stamping done except for this piece right here. So for this piece, we're going to end up cutting out an oval, but I want to just kind of, and I know that my sentiment needs to be towards the bottom. So again, I'm going to bring in that Misty Moonlight, and I'm going to take this Happy Birthday sentiment, and I'm just going to stamp it just like that towards the bottom. And that's all you need to do for that one. So let's clean this up, and then I believe we are done with stamping. But now we're going to be die cutting, and there's a lot to die cut for this one. So hopefully, I'm going to show you over here. I'm going to set it up over here, and then I'm going to move to my die cut machine to cut everything out, because sometimes you can't hear me very well when I move over there. So I want to explain all this as we go. So we're going to need these 3 pieces. We're going to need our Old Olive piece, our Garden Green piece, and our Whisper White piece. So in this stamp set, you'll see it's got these 2 ovals. There's a larger one and a smaller one. We're going to be working with the smaller one. Because what the smaller one does is it cuts out the oval, but then it also cuts out a frame. So we're going to end up with an extra white frame and an extra Old Olive frame. Now, just because I'm going to have to move these over to my die cut machine, I'm going to bring in some Post-it note tape, and we are just going to stick that there. Now for the, oh, we got to do this one here as well. But in the meantime, we're going to move over here, because when we cut this out, we're also going to be cutting out some of the leaves. So what we want to do is we want to cut one of these leaves, and I believe 2 of these leaves from this Garden Green. All right, so let's move these. Let's move on over to the die cut machine, and we'll cut these, and then I'm actually going to bring this over with me, because we're going to be doing this again on here. Plus, I'm going to use the inside of this. Instead of keeping it for a label, I'm going to actually use that for my leaves. All right, so let's grab this. Oh, my dog's in the way. Look out, move. All right, so now we're over at the die cut machine. And we are going to use base number 1, number 2, and then we're going to use the 2 clears, which they're both 3. So I'm going to stick that one there. I'm going to stick this on here, and then I'm going to stick this piece on here as well. And we're going to run this through the die cut machine. Then I'm going to kind of repeat this process for that Old Olive piece. So here we go, running through the die cut machine. And let me show you what I mean on this. I'm going to just lay these over here. But on this piece here, when you pull all this apart, and let me grab my take your pick tool, sorry. So it cut out my frame or my label, but then if you push through these little holes here, you'll see that it also cut out a stitched frame. This you're going to put to the side and you can use it for another card. We're going to hold on to this and we're going to hold on to these leaves right here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this again on the old olive. Again, I'm just going to tape this in place because I'm going to go ahead and because I'm not going to be using this label for this card. Now you could choose to save this label and cut something else out of it, or keep it as a label to use later, but I just thought this would be a good use of this piece here. So now we're just going to run this through. All right. So now we've got these pieces. And again, I don't need this. I do need these leaves, so I'm going to stick those right there so that I have them all. I'm going to stick these dies back on my magnetic holder for my dies, and then I do need this green frame, so that's going to go here. Now we're going to, and before I do this, I'm going to go over to back to the desk because I want to explain this next part of die cutting to you. Okay, so I have my base here, and I brought this here because I want to talk about like cutting out the flowers. This die set has, as you can see, it has the outline, which will cut this out. But then it has this inside, which you can, if you want to do that on like a solid cardstock, it looks really pretty. And we're going to be working with these all month long, so you're going to really learn how to use these dies. But you can also do that on the stamped version because it will actually emboss like the stamped version, and it gives it a really cool texture. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in place. And again, because I'm moving these around a lot, I'm actually going to be using, tape to hold these in place so that by the time I lift it and take it over to where my die cut machine is. So I kind of want that to stay right there. And then this kind of tells you that's that long piece. And that fits right there. But I also want to make sure that it stays centered. So I'm also going to kind of tape this in place. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the small one while we're here. I believe it's this way. Yep, there we go. My pool party was super light. I needed to use I should have re-inked it before I stamped tonight. So and this does the same thing. So it has that little center section. So we're going to cut these out. Then I'm going to, while I'm over at this die cut station, you'll be able to watch me. Then I'm going to set it up for these two and cut these two out. And then I'll bring it back here and show it to you up close. Okay, so we're at our die cut. We're going to cut this out. There's my little flower. I'm gonna stick it over here in my little pile, my little to-go pile. And I'm gonna try to keep these dies kind of together so that it's easier for me to, because now I can just kind of move this around and lay that down. I know it's probably harder for you guys to see, but when you're close to it, you can get that lined up pretty easily. So I'm going to try to do the same thing, hold that one in place. Let me make sure this looks good. And then let's see. see if I can get, this will be the one I have a harder time with because it's so small. I think that's correct. Let's hope. Lay that down. Again, you know, you can take your time and make sure, you know, if you want to pull the two dies apart and lay the outline and then lay the inside piece first, that's perfectly fine. It looked like it did move a little bit. So this one might look a little more funky, and we might have to do a little bit of trimming. So let's just get these removed, and then we're going to move back over to our, where we were stamping. Sorry, I'm just getting all the tape off my dies. Okay. So now let's bring all these die cut pieces back. So now we're back over here. We're going to move the dies out of the way. Oh gosh, I hope this actually recorded. Okay, so I'm not sure if you'll be able to, oops, sorry. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see. Can you see how it like cut those images in? Can you see the, like those, I can show you the back of it. And so you can actually, in person, you can actually see this on the front of the card. It just makes those flowers look a little extra special. I really love the way that it makes that look. All right, so then I'm going to move all this out of the way, and then we're going to bring in our card base. We're almost done with this card, believe it or not. And it's start to finish. And it's not taking that long to do. Again, guys, if I go a little fast, I am trying to go slow, but I'm also trying to make this so that you don't have to sit here for over an hour to watch this, because I know everybody's time is precious. And so I'm really trying to keep this down to just a couple of minutes, but I'm also trying to show you step by step, you know, how to do the die cutting, how to do the stamping, so that it's a little bit easier for you. But if you're watching me live and you get behind, don't worry, sit back and watch, and then as soon as it uploads to my YouTube or my Facebook channel, then you can replay it, and then you can pause it as you go. So we're going to put that designer series paper down. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put this white label down, and I'm just going to use some liquid glue for that. Hopefully, I just got home, so I don't know if this liquid glue has any liquid glue. Oh, it does. I usually check everything really good before I start, but sometimes, like today, I got held up in Albuquerque with my mom's doctor's appointments. They had scheduled them a little improperly. And so we're going to just stick that one down. Now I got to find one of my little skinny ones that actually is working, because now what I want to do is I want to take this and I just want to put little dots of glue. And let's see if I can find one. I haven't been here for a week, so I'm not sure which of one of these is actually working. Oh, this one. It's this one. Yay. All right, so here we go. And now I'm going to take this. And I'm not seeing any comments. So if you guys are putting in comments, I am not ignoring you. For some reason, they are not coming up on my screen. But I will try to check out any questions later and reply to those of you that put in the questions. So now we're going to lay this down. Don't go under. So now we're just going to lay this frame down so that it goes around that label. And it gets a little stretched out sometimes, so you got to kind of push it all back into place. Oops. I'm just trying to push it so that it goes right up against it. And I didn't get enough glue. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pull this up because this may be upside down. Believe it or not, it does make a difference. Sorry, let me add some more glue because it shouldn't be that off. So I probably should have done a dry run with this first where I laid it down to see how it fit. And now I've just forgotten which side was that I had up last time. Hopefully it was the other side. And this is going to fit right this time. Let's see. Yeah, this looks like it's going down better. There we go. Or maybe not. It's still, I think I stretched it out just a bit. I think I just laid that down exactly how I had it last time. Sorry guys, just bear with me. Because I know this fits perfectly when you lay it down correctly. All right, there we go. It was that way. Sorry about that. Well, actually, it's still a little stretched out, huh? I think I've played with it a little too much now. Okay, so I am going to bring in, because I've gotten glue where I didn't want it, but this is good for you guys to learn. And so where I kind of touched this white, I've got this glue eraser, and you can get these on, I think Amazon sells them, scrapbook.com sells them, and they're just the glue erasers, but they're really handy to have. So if you don't have one of these in your toolkit, you'll definitely want one. Okay, that shouldn't have taken that long, but it did. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do a dry run with our flowers. Now, we are going to be popping up a couple. I think I did pop up all of the flowers. But first I'm going to just kind of lay them out here and just to see how I want to put like the leaves and stuff. So basically the way I did it is I just want to take like one of the darker, I want this to just kind of fit right up against that. Oh, Lisa, I'm so glad that this is helping. That's what I was hoping for. I've gotten that from a lot of people that I know we all tend to go really fast through our videos, and I think it's time for us to all kind of slow down a little bit. So I'm going to use the darker garden green, and then I'm going to take one of the smaller old olives, and it's going to sit right here. And then again, here's the smaller old olive, and it's going to go right there. Then, and again, this is all dry run. I'm not gluing anything down yet. Then I'm going to put my blue one here. The pool party is going to cover that area right there. So now I just need to work out where I want the leaves over here. So again, now I'm going to use the large old olive leaf, and I'm going to use the smaller garden green leaves. And of course they're moving around a bit, which that's fine. I'm just trying to get kind of how I want this laid out. And then this one is going to pop up over here like so. Okay, so now that I've got that figured out, I'm going to carefully pick all these up. Now this isn't going to be perfect, but it just kind of gave me an idea of where to put these. So I'm going to, without trying to move them a bunch, I'm just going to lay this first set of leaves down. The other thing is because I'm popping this up, I know that if I just be careful with where I place my dimensionals on the back of these flowers, I'll be able to adjust like these smaller ones. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to come in, I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this one here. So obviously I want one right in the middle. And then I know I want one on this longer piece here that kind of sticks out. And I'm going to kind of try to keep them kind of in a row here. And then bring them in a little closer here. So that way if I do need to adjust some of the leaves, I still have the support there. But it will give me some wiggle room underneath this flower. So now I can take my flower And I'm just kind of using this as my focal point here. And I'm just going to stick that right there. And I'm not pushing down hard. Don't push down hard, because you can still lift up and like fit some leaves underneath it. Okay, so like, see, I can still kind of lift this if I need to, but I don't think I do. So I've got that one in there. But because I didn't push that down, the dimensionals are holding it in place, but it's not like solidly in place. So if I did need to like lift part of this up, I could. So then we're gonna put this right there. Whoops. All right, take hold glue. All right, there we go. Perfect. Or at least I think it's perfect. Okay, so now the next thing I'm gonna add, and this also just kind of shows you how I build. Everybody does it a little bit differently, but this is just how I build so that I do that dry run so that I can kind of see how I want everything. Then I just kind of do the, this part's going to be up, this part's going to be down as far as flat and popped up. So now I want to put this next because it's going to be the next thing on here. And it's going to fit like this, but it is going to be popped up as well. But as you can see, this leaf is going to probably need to go underneath it. So I'm going to just turn this over. I'm going to stick my dimensional so that it's more, not quite in the center. So it's more that way. And then this is the side I'm also going to like attach over here. The side that I did this the closest to, if that makes sense. And I'm going to pull that off because I knew that leaf might need to fit underneath there. And so I just kind of pushed this up to where it was just touching that other flower. All right. The next one that's going on is our blue flower. And again, I'm going to do a little dry run just before I start all this, just so I can see how close I need to bring that blue flower here and the room I need to leave over there. So see, I didn't really put them in place, but I can kind of see. So I already know I'm going to keep my finger here because that's going to be where the liquid glue goes. And that's going to go there. I can lay that down now. And then I'm going to stick one right there. And stick one right over here because this part is going to be glued on top of this. So let's go ahead and remove this right here. Now remember, I'm working with this same suite all month long because I'm doing, like I said, I wanted to do this step by step, but I also wanted to give you guys ideas for using these suites that you're purchasing. Because I know even like when you guys come to my card class, I know you guys like to work with different sets. So I tend to work with different stamp sets, which is great because you're getting to see everything, but not so great when you're trying to use what you've purchased, right? Okay, so now I'm going to take this old olive one. I hope this is going to be helpful for you guys. I've been trying to listen to my customers on what they want to see, and so that's where I came up with this idea. And then this one's going to fit there. Do you see how by doing that dry run, it really helped me figure out where all these little pieces need to go? And then I don't know if you guys have seen us build our our flower arrangements, but I wanted to show you my process in doing that. So that one's going to go there. And then this is going to be the last one, and it's going to fit here. And it's basically going to attach, this is going to attach there, and then I'm going to put a dimensional right there. Whoops. The nice thing about when you build it this way is you get to, again, slow down a little bit and just kind of work this through where you want to see that flower. Okay, so that flower is going to fit right there. And so then we've got that beautiful flower arrangement up here. Now what I wanted to do was show you how to So the gems that come with this one are the Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink. Well, I didn't really use a lot of Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink. I tried to bring out these deeper tones out of this designer series paper. And so what I decided to do was just come in with my Misty Moonlight Stampin' Blend. And the clear ones, we're going to color them with the Misty Moonlight. And so I'm just, and this is, those of you guys can laugh, you can see the end. This got used in a class and it got just destroyed. But I keep these because they work really good for coloring these gems. And then I don't have to worry about them getting ruined while I'm coloring the gems. So we're going to just color 3 of these gems. And I probably will trim that a little bit later because it's getting pretty fluffy at this point. And then I'm just going to pop these up with my take your pick tool. And I'm just going to stick one. Sorry, my dog just made me jump. I'm going to stick one there. And then one over here. One over here. And then we're going to put the inside, and then we are done with this card. So again, I hope that you guys, I know I probably went a little fast. This is my first time really doing like step-by-step instructions. Sorry, I've got to replace this. I knew I was going to need to, so I have a second one sitting here. Hopefully you'll be able to, you know, pull this back up on YouTube and watch it again later if I went a little bit too fast. But I'm trying to make it so that you guys can sit down, pull out your suite, make a card, and then know that we're going to be doing this all month long with this suite. But again, remember, if you don't have this suite, if you don't want to buy this suite, but you have something that's similar to this at home, use your stuff. But be watching on both my Facebook, check out my Facebook group because that's where I'm going to be posting like the cuts for next week. And I am going to show you the card we're doing next week. So we're just going to lay that down in here. Whoops, come on, pop up. I didn't quite get that straight. Whoa, I'm not getting that straight at all. Okay, hold on. I think it's because I have it like cockeyed on that graph paper. That was really throwing me off. Oh, heck. All right, let's get this down. There we go, much better. All right, so there is our first card using this suite. It says, happy birthday. I did bring in the right words stamp set for this, but I'm sure you guys have plenty of sentiment stamps you can use at home if you don't like the sentiments that come with the particular stamp set. And then we've made our beautiful floral arrangement up there, and on the inside it says, to someone worth celebrating every single day, and we've added more flowers here. Yay! All right, so that is card 1, week 1. And then I told you I was going to show you the card. I thought I had it laying here. Oh my heck. Oh, are you kidding me? What did I do with them? Hold on. Hold the presses. Okay, I found it. All right, so next week, I'm just going to do a quick in and out. So next week, we're going to be making this really pretty card. So this is what we're going to be making next week. So that'll give you an idea of what you might want to gather together if you don't have this particular suite. But again, guys, don't forget, if you don't have the suite and you end up purchasing the suite and you purchase it from me, not only are you going to learn the 4 cards this month, but I am going to send you videos or PDFs, I'm sorry, PDFs plus a video with 4 more cards so that you will have 8 cards right off the bat using this suite. So again, this is the suite we used tonight, the Floral's Impression. Here's the card that we made. And I hope this was helpful. I hope I went slow enough that it helped you guys to do a more step-by-step, especially if you're new to stamping, if you've been around for a long time. Hopefully this was a nice, relaxing, just stamp along with me and craft along with me. So guys, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you being with me tonight. Next week, we'll be making that other card. And again, Wednesdays, 6 p.m. And hopefully I can get my Facebook going. So for those of you that normally watch Facebook and you didn't see me, it's going to be uploaded there. Oh, thanks, Lisa. I know, like my dog just barked. They're usually not down here with me, so I'm glad it made you laugh, but it scared the heck out of me with my dog jumping like that. So anyway, guys, Lisa, thank you for being with me tonight. And for those of you that tried to, because I can see there's more people on here, but I'm not seeing any more comments. So I don't know if you tried to put in comments and they didn't work, but don't give up, put the comments in, but also check out my Facebook page because I will have this video uploaded there in just a few minutes. Anyway, guys, thank you so much.